Pull me, Alex. Oh dear. Okay. Alright, let's get going. Let's go. We are off. You've been told to ready. Important to note that with Entei Mika's penalty in the stewards, haven't quite updated the standings yet. I just got home not too long ago. That means Muhiti gains an extra point, so keep that in mind for the Drivers' Championship, because that means there's only 2 points between our two main protagonists of Pommy Alex and Muhiti. Hello, Lifebelt. Good to see you in the chat. We're about to get underway for qualifying in Kota. So, Kota, a very, very technical, difficult track, especially in the sector 1 rather. Very, very easy to gain and lose a huge amount of time in that sector, so this qualifying session should be very interesting. We've got Muhiti and Pommy Alex within 2 points of each other in the drivers' standings with just 4 races to go, including this one, and it's looking to be a very exciting conclusion to this very exciting Tier 2 championship. Rick joins me today in the commentary box. Have you got any insights on the championship so far, Rick?
Yes, for next week, Pommy Alex won't be there for Tier 2, so this week will be very important for his championship.
Certainly will. That's a huge bombshell. So here's the chance for Muhiti. He already wasted his chance to take the championship lead last week when he was leading the Singapore Grand Prix for pretty much the entire race, and then a late VSC, he just oversped the delta. Chance, and he's now 2 points behind Pommy Alex, but if he can outscore Pommy today, or even just get anywhere near him, but he's not going to do it by sliding off into the wall on his outlap. That is a very embarrassing moment for Muhiti. He's going to be mortified. I caught that on stream. If that is a front wing end plate gone, he's going to be back in the pits, and that's a wasted couple of minutes of this session for the Turkish driver.
That's not going to be great for him and his confidence going into this qualifying session, and probably even the race. And someone like LB could provide of that with his insane pace, especially from last season, but that pace hasn't really been the best carrying over into this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's been his transition between F1 2021 and 22 has not been perfect, it's safe to say, for LB. So He's getting slowly better, but he is back in Tier 2 as a result, and we are glad to see him back in Tier 2. But at the same time, we do hope that he improves back to the levels he was, because he was really challenging in Tier 1 in the last game. I've just been following on with Lawrence's Sector 1 in the Alpine. It looked fairly tidy, a little bit of a correction into Turn 1. Of course, Lawrence racing without the racing line, as well as Lalo Mado today. And look at that sun glare. They were talking about it in the chat. Everyone in Tier 2, they were saying how the sun glare is absolutely horrible coming down this straight, and you can see on the camera, even on PS4, it is disgusting. So no wonder they were complaining. Lawrence nearly losing it on the exit of that slow corner and into this very, very difficult section in Sector 3 now.
Lawrence, on the mini map, having set a purple sector 2 that is not representative as this game is, and basically just a piece of bad.
It certainly is. Lawrence very slow through that penultimate corner. He can definitely improve on that. And down to the final corner and up to the line. It's a decent opener from Lawrence. 35-6, hoping to get his championship challenge back underway after last week's big disappointment in Singapore, where he crashed out and gained 0 points. Cello KRT is purple in Sector 2 in the Alfa Romeo. We haven't seen much of him for a lot of this season. He was quick at the start of the season, and then ever since he's been a bit slower, but that's very slow through there, and I think he's abandoned that lap. But JBS Steve onto pole position now, 35.0. Get Carter into P2, a 35.5, but that's a great lap from JB, but he has stopped. He's got to be careful not to get disqualified. He's just trying to get out the way of other drivers. I think he's just about gone away with that. You can't really stop on track for too long with this game, or it will just launch a disqualification on you out of nowhere. But I'll tell you who else is purple in Sectors 1 and 2, Mr. J-Man, and I've just cursed him because I cut to him and he's immediately facing the wrong way. So yeah, must have just taken a little bit too much steering angle through that never-ending right-hander as Tier goes into P4 and little Manny Man into P5.
Yeah, Pommy Alex invalidated his lap, so that's why he's not set a time yet and returned to the pit lane. So has Thedo, actually, sorry.
Tido.
Yeah, Tido, sorry. Yeah. Muhiti is just starting his lap, so he'll be the one to watch for the moment, as the McLaren gets in his way, and that's not what you want.
Ooh, dear, oh dear. Crozer was purple in Sector 2, though, and he's coming to the end of his lap. Can he put this on provisional pole? Crozer coming up to the line at 34.7. He does indeed stick it on provisional pole. Great opening lap from Crozer. And obviously we're going to be waiting for Muhiti, but he's invalidated already in Sector 1. Was that due to the McLaren being in his way, Rick?
I'm not sure. I went to Crozer, but I did see him back off that lap, so it doesn't really matter for him.
Yeah, must have just made a mistake in the S's, gone a bit too wide. Very easy to do, of course. As Tito Man coming into Sector 2 now. He's already been through Sector 1 with a 26.1. Not too bad. TTV Max is going green in Sector 1. He's going for a second lap, so obviously he wasn't happy with that first attempt, and we can see why. A lot of time gained there. Ente Mika gaining a lot of time as well, but of course he is, because his first lap was not representative, and he's into the pits anyways, so he is not going to improve quite yet. But it looks like Tito Man is pretty much the only person on track that's on a competitive lap right now.
Yeah, down the back straight, like you said, there was nothing you could see. I couldn't even see the trees at the end of the grandstands at the start of the straight. It's that bad. It's that atrocious.
It is disgusting. It really is. I can only imagine what it's like in the cockpit, and I'm going to find out on Friday. Is that at the penultimate corner from Tito Man, very unlucky there. Has to peel into the pits. As Lalo Mado is starting his lap in the McLaren. He's also racing without the line, so hoping he does well. Comes through sector 1 now, these tricky S section, which is basically a copy of Suzuka, as Lalo invalidates that one actually at the S's, so he's going to have to go again. I think we're going to see a lot of that, Rick. Invalidations in sector 1.
As he goes wide in turn 9 again, which in real life is the track limit point, or at least was last year. Now it's just white lines like in the game. There's not enough. Can't really add anything for the moment.
Fair enough. It's very tricky to stay within track limits in this sector 1. It's so easy to overcook it. But LB's looking good through sector 1 at the moment. And I'm just riding on board with the Red Bull as he comes through to try and make it a Red Bull 1-2 provisionally. I don't know. He comes through sector 1. In fact, he's purple in sector 1. Lala Mado is also purple in sector 2, but remember he's invalidated, so that doesn't really matter, but it does show he has pace as LB coming down this very, very long straight. Look at that sun glare while riding on board. It is horrible. Can barely see anything. Coming up to the corner now is LB, and to the end of sector 2. Is he going to be purple in sector 2? Here's the sector line. What's it going to be? 103.4. Sorry, he's not purple in sector 2, but it's still looking like a really good lap from LB. Very solid and well put together. Coming through the final part of the track now. There's never-ending right-hander. It's basically two right-handers really, but it's constant steering all the way through. And down towards the penultimate corner, really got to commit hard for that one to gain as much time as you can. DRS open towards the line, and LB a 34.4 for the Red Bull driver, a purple sector 3 as well. That is the pace that everyone is going to have to meet.
Tommy Alex next across the line goes second by 2.5 tenths, splits the Red Bulls, and Mr. J-Man in 4th, which he's been doing quite well recently.
He really has. He has been on top form, Mr. J-Man, in the races he's been in the second half of the season. He has been fantastic in qualifying, just not really able to convert them into race finishes as Lawrence goes into P3, splits the Red Bulls further, a 34.7 from the Alpine driver, a great effort from him. And but yeah, great effort from the championship leader as well, but LB just over 2 tenths clear at the moment at the top of the standings. Else is on a lap. Interestingly, not purple in any sectors for Tommy Alex, so just very close. As Entei Mika, just a few hundredths behind the Red Bull driver, and Entei really showing that he is a force to be reckoned with in Tier 2. He was very, very good in Singapore last week until his spin early on in the race. Looked like it was going to be a cakewalk for him, and after that it was a bit of a nightmare. But he'll be hoping that he doesn't repeat that today and converts what is looking like a really good qualifying into a race result. Nearly bins it into the wall on his in-lap.
Yeah, I was going to say LB looking like he's back on his controller, but Entei Mika just proving me wrong.
Get Carter is purple in sector 2. He's another one who was looking very quick last week. In fact, he won the race in Singapore after Muhitti's VSC blunder. Get Carter coming up to the line now. Can he put it on provisional pole? Not quite. And he's all the way down in 6th, in fact, after a purple sector 2. That is how close it is. Look at those times. 3 tenths between 1st and 6th. So very, very close at the top of the field. And then there's a little gap to Mr. J-Man, but I'm sure he is capable of more. JBS Steve, his time looked really good, a really good banker lap it looked like from him early on in the session, and he's now down to 8th. So it just shows you how close this field is at the moment. Tier is improving by about 2.5 tenths after sector 2. Crows is improving slightly in sector 1. Muhitti, is he finally going to get a lap completed? Where is he now? He's in sector 1. Okay, so he's just starting. Who's that that's just done a lap? I think that was Tito Man up to 9th?
I think so. But yeah, Muhitti's been struggling this qualifying session. Hasn't completed a good lap yet. Saw him spin on his last run, which isn't the best. So he should be up there. So that could be another one to add to the within 3/10 list, as well as Lalo
Yeah,
Mato, who both of them haven't set a lap yet. The only two who haven't.
absolutely. Yeah, Muhiti just done a 25.9 in Sector 1, which is not bad at all. That's definitely on pace for the front runners. TTV Max is going 2/10 faster in Sector 1. Who else is improving? Crozer messed up his Sector 2 after his improvement in Sector 1. Muhiti has come to the end of Sector 2, a 37.7 in that sector. Again, not bad at all. Coming for the final sector now. I wonder where he's going to be in relation to those top runners. It's very close. A slight mistake could cost you 3 positions here. That's how close it is. JBS Steve has just improved to 5th, a 34.7, so he makes it 7 drivers within 3/10 of a second. Is Muhiti going to make it 8 across the line? No, he's not. 34.9, quite a way off for the Ferrari driver. That is not what he would have wanted to see when he crossed the line.
That's not what you expect from him, considering, especially last week as well. He's got some serious pace in him, but isn't able to make it all, and he's just doing something he shouldn't.
Oh. Going well across the track limits there. 4 minutes to go in the session. He's got plenty of time to set another lap. Got Mr. J-Man coming through there, just letting him through. Mr. J-Man is improving. Sector 1 improved by about 0.5. TTV Max seems to be improving in Sector 1 every lap and then losing everything in the rest of the track. So he's currently setting a lowly P13 along with his teammate and Lil Manny Man for company. And of course Lalo Madu, who's yet to set a lap. I'm sure Lalo can get up there. Mr. J-Man coming up to the Sector 2 line now. Is it going to be another improvement? Yes, a big improvement. 4.5 up on his previous best, according to the game. And through the final sector now he comes. Final few corners. LB is purple in Sector 1, Rick. He's looking to go even faster and set that bar even higher. Now he knows that Ente Mika can definitely beat him. Mr. J-Man coming around the final corner now. DRS open, what's it going to be? And it's pole! It's provisional pole! Where did that come from? Mr. J-Man, a 34.2 for the Williams driver. And LB's improvement needs to be better. He's only up by about 1/10. And he's about 1.5 down on Mr. J-Man. What's it going to be through Sector 2, I wonder? Coming up to the sector line now. He is 4/10 up on his previous best. LB really trying to set the bar here after Mr. J-Man has come out of nowhere to put it on provisional pole.
Yeah, and he could be on controller again, but this time he might actually be 4:10, sorry, in basically a straight and a few extra corners. That's a massive improvement. But is it going to be pole for LB?
It looks like it.
On that,
yeah.
It will be by
33.8. Wow, what a time from LB. That is astonishing from him. And Mr. J-Man, 4/10 back now. Ente Mika was improving, but has lost time in Sector 2. Sector 3, he's going to have to really pull it out the bag if he wants to at all challenge LB and or even get on the front row. Nearly invalidates. Surely he would have had to lift to not invalidate there. And now he's invalidated at the final corner. It would have been slower than his previous best anyway. He's going to go again, but he's not going to because it's invalidated his next lap as well. So Ente Mika, he is not going to improve. The championship leader is also invalidated. So he's going to have to try and go again. I'm not sure if he's got enough time. It's going to be close. Lalo Mado has set a lap time. He's into P6, and he does make it 8 drivers now within 3/10 of each other. It's astonishingly close in the midfield. Muhiti's on an outlap as well. He's just about going to have time to get round. Tier is also on a lap, but he's not improving in that Aston Martin. He's down in P12. The Alfa Romeo is bringing up the rear at the moment. Cello KRT just about to start a lap, I think. Is anyone else improving? No one's improving on track at the moment. TTV Max in the pits. And this is going to be it could be an anticlimactic end to this qualifying session because it doesn't look like anyone's improving, Rick.
Something of note, from P4 to P, what's that, 10, the gaps are from P4 to 5, it's 14,000, 5 to 6, 6,000, 6 to 7, 11,000, 7 to 8, 14,000, 8 to 9, 38,000, and then 9 to 10th, just over 10th.
Wow, incredibly small gaps here. We've got the session is over. Mr. J-Man is not going to improve. Obviously, the people in the pits, that's TTV Max not improving. Tier is retired in the pit lane. He's not going to improve anymore. Ente Mika obviously into the pits. He's not going to improve. Pommy Alex is he's a 10th up on his previous best in Sector 1. So Pommy Alex looking to improve. Is LB going even faster? No, he's not. He's backed off. So he is not going to go faster. The target time is a 33.8. Can the championship leader match it? He's on a 34.6 at the moment, so he's going to need a massive improvement. He's coming through Sector 2 now. It looks like a lot of traffic on this straight. Doesn't look like they're going to get in his way, though. I think Muhiti might be giving him a tow down the straight. They're both on laps at the moment, the two Ferraris. So this could be very interesting end to the session. Muhiti is improving, but he's lost time in Sector 2. Pommy Alex has gained a little bit more time, but he's still only a 10th and a half up. Lil Manny Man has improved to 11th, not quite enough to challenge the rest of the pack. Pommy, a huge slide out of that left-hander. Very, very easy to do, losing the rear there. As the two Ferraris come to end their laps, Muhiti coming across the final corner now. What can he do? Can he improve any more? Up to the line he comes. 34.6. He does. He beats his teammate, in fact, and Pommy spins it at the final corner. And Muhiti out-qualified his teammate for what seems like the first time in a while. But look how close that margin is. The two Ferraris 5.6. Then the two AlphaTauris get Carter. Beats them both into P4 at the end there. What an end to the session, but it's LB on pole.
Yeah, by just under 4 tenths. That's an incredible lap from the reigning champion.
It is, yeah, the reigning champion. We might need to ship him back to Tier 1, Rick.
Yeah. You say Muhiti finished for the first time in a while ahead of Pommy Alex, but the last time was actually Singapore. So
well, yeah, because Pommy wasn't there, right?
Wasn't he? Oh, well, okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
No, yeah, but I mean, I'd be happy to be proved wrong, but it doesn't feel. It feels like a while since the Ferraris were that way round in qualifying. But look how close that is. Barely 0.03 of a second. But it is LB on pole with Mr. J-Man on the front row with him. Ente Mika and Get Carter make it an AlphaTauri 3-4, then the two Ferraris, then Lawrence in P7, very interesting lineup there. Lalo Mado in P8, 7 thousandths behind. JB P9, 10 thousandths behind. And Crozer, Lil Manny Man, Tito Man, Tier and the two Alfa Romeos of TTV Max and Cello KRT make up the back of the grid.
Now the legit answer for that Muhiti and Pommy Alex thing. Spain was the last time Muhiti out-qualified Pommy. Muhiti second and Pommy Alex fifth.
That certainly is a while ago. 5 weeks ago was the last time the Ferraris were that way round in quali, so great performance there from Muhiti. Pommy Alex losing his lap at the final corner, and he has to settle for 6th. We're going to get underway in 20 seconds though. No formation laps, so we'll be underway straight away. And any predictions, Rick?
Hopefully a good race. I'm clueless of what's going to happen. It's so close. It can be anyone's. It can be anyone's race.
Certainly. So here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're underway for the American Grand Prix. It's a good start for LB, a better start for Mr. J-Man. Down the inside goes the Williams, but LB all the way around the outside of turn one, keeps the lead just about, but nearly spins it. Mr. J-Man into the lead now. LB down to P2 under pressure from the Alpha Tauris in sector one. Can either of them get past the two side by side? And now Muhiti getting involved as well. Off the track goes the Ferrari. He's into P4. Surely he's going to give that place up. He does. Back down to P5 and around the outside again he tries, and now Crozer getting involved. Up to P5 goes the Red Bull and Muhiti falls. Lawrence trying to get involved on the Ferraris as well. He's up to P7. Amazing action here in sector one of the American Grand Prix.
Muhiti
Side by side again
Crozer,
up to the next corner. Yeah, Crozer and Muhiti again as well, and it could be 4 wide up this straight. It's a big gap further up, but Muhiti and Crozer still side by side. Pommy, Alex and Lawrence and JBS Steve getting involved as well further back. It's going to be 3 wide perhaps. No, they all back out in the entry to the corner. Lawrence nearly hitting the back of Pommy, and JB still trying to get involved. I don't think he's going to make it. LB's gone! He's round and down all the way to P10 he goes. Mr. J-Man leads this race by a huge margin now over Ente Mika. Lawrence under pressure from JB manages to keep him behind. What an incredible start to this Grand Prix, Rick.
Yeah, LB too happy on the throttle, I reckon. Or maybe it got spun by someone, or maybe it's made contact. Anything could have happened. I didn't catch it. Carnage all over the field, chaos and overtakes.
Absolutely, but no one being spun out, no contact. It looked like it was completely clean. Really great stuff from Tier 2. JB and Lawrence side by side again. JB up the inside of turn 1. They're going to be side by side through the S's. I think Lawrence has got this though, but he has started on the hard tyres, so he's given himself a handicap in this first stint to try and be better in the second stint. No, he's gone! He's gone! He's not out! He's not out! He's broken his front wing, but that is the hard tyres in the first stint. That's what can happen. We've got a full course yellow. I think it's a VSC. I don't see the safety car. And Lawrence, he has a dreary evening ahead of him.
While all that was happening, I just caught LB spinning as well, so that's not a good day for the pole man.
Certainly not. He has had a absolutely appalling first couple of laps, down to P15 from pole position to last in 1.5 laps barely, and he is going to be hoping that a safety car does. Oh no, Mr. J-Man, drive through. Ente Mika's got a drive through as well to the top two, both with drive throughs. Ente gets past Mr. J-Man as the VSC comes in, but they've both got drive-throughs, I'm sure of it. Yeah, it's drive-throughs for both. So Get Carter is now in pole, well, not in pole, but prime position to take this race lead. Ente straight in to serve the drive-through. He doesn't want to wait for a safety car, but Mr. J-Man chances it for another lap.
Mr. J-Man and Ente Mika wasting a chance of a good result. Ente Mika again for the second week in a row.
Yeah, absolutely, and Mr. J-Man as well. It's just the man does not seem to catch a break in races. He has been fantastic in qualifying lately, but in the races he has just not been able to capitalize on those good grid positions. And here we see again, he's got himself a drive-through, and if a safety car comes out now, he is well and truly screwed. Ente Mika down in P13 after the drive-through. He's actually still on the back of the pack, so he hasn't lost all that much. But the Alfa Romeos have taken full advantage of all this. T2 Max up to P8, Cello KRT P10. They started this from the back. So great stuff for them. Get Carter getting past Mr. J-Man further up the field on the straight. Very nicely done. And the Alpha Tauri driver looking to make it 2 wins on the bounce here as he takes the lead of the American Grand Prix.
Yeah, what's there to talk about? Yeah, Lalo Mato on the hards, which although he's on 14th, doesn't the rest are all on mediums. Well, Lawrence started on the hards, but of course he had that spin, so he's now on the mediums as well. And we'll be going back on the hards. We'll be going back on the hards by the end of his mediums. So.
Yeah, he must be, or at least to the softs or something like that. Might try something like that. Get Carter sets the fastest lap. Muhiti and Krozer both have a moment at the exit, the final corner there. But yeah, I think Lala Madden must have spun just like Lawrence, so those hard tyres really, really difficult in the early stages of the race. And honestly, Rick, I'm not sure why people still do the alternate strategy on this game. We're over halfway through league seasons now, and people still do it, and people still spin constantly in the first stint. So and lose a huge amount of time and get stuck behind, and it just I see it week after week after week, and people still go for it. So yeah, I'm not really quite understanding why that's happening. But Krozer right on the back of Muhiti. Muhiti's up to P3, by the way. His championship rival, Pommy Alex, down in P5. So big opportunity for the Ferrari driver, but he doesn't have DRS. Krozer does have it. You can see that rear wing open at the back. In down the inside he goes, up to the next corner. Krozer trying to take over P3, and he does. Muhiti down to P4. Nothing you can do about that. And the Red Bull driver looking for what I believe would be his first podium of the season. I don't remember him getting a podium this season. If he has, I apologise, Krozer, but he's looking good today.
Last season was certainly better for the Red Bull,
Yes.
and like you said, has not got a podium this season. Mr. J-Man coming in to serve his drive-through.
Yep.
If he didn't, he would be disqualified. So that's why he's done it now.
Yeah, he's finally decided to serve it. He's been lucky that hasn't been a safety car. I wonder how far back he's going to come out. Who's that spun? It's Lil Manny Man further back. The other Williams spinning it at the final corner. Mr. J-Man just coming out the pits now. He's going to be behind Ente Mika, so he's lost quite a lot of time by staying out there. And having to fight with Get Carter, and LB is going to put him under pressure as well. But Mr. J-Man is going to be sitting in P11 wondering what could have been today, unless there's more drama to come. And with Tier 2, well, I mean with APPF1 in general, you wouldn't bet against it, as Pommy Alex maybe goes a little bit deep into that slow corner up to the DRS straight.
The back straight now doesn't have the eye-blinding sun staring down at you
Yes.
down the main straight, down the back straight, which is very nice for the race, and especially someone like Lawrence and Lalo who don't run the line, so they can't see where they're going.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be delighted to see that the sun is behind the clouds for the race. I do see those clouds in the sky, and I wonder if it might rain. Obviously, the drivers are going to be hoping for no rain, but it would certainly cause some drama as the race goes on. We're on about to go on to lap 6 now. Get Carter leads by nearly, well, just over now 2 seconds as Mr. J-Man spins further back, and so does Cello KRT. Down the field he goes, down to P11, P12, and could be P13 if Mr. J-Man can take advantage. Does he spin it again? No, he keeps the throttle fairly consistent and gets around just after the spin, which is easier said than done a lot of the time, as Ente Mika sets the fastest lap, so he does have that underlying pace, does the German, but that drive-through has cost him big time. P9 he is.
The Belgian driver's not having a good time, at least on lap 5 it seems, and
Yeah.
LB already back up into P10 from all the spins.
Yeah, he is recovering fairly well, as is Ente Miko after his drive-through. P9, and he's catching Tito Man at a rate of knots. Look how quickly that gap has come down. It's, I mean, he gained 1.5 seconds on the Alpine on the last lap alone. TDB Max has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in, but for now his AI car is going to be driving, and he's going to be gutted because he made a brilliant start to this race after starting at the back. And down to P9 he is now, and he could drop further as his AI is going to be fairly slow, I would have thought. The two Ferraris 3 and 4, Muhiti still putting pressure on Krozer. Pommy Alex taking a bit of a different line to JBS Steve there, through that particular corner. You do see a lot of different lines through that corner. Some people go wide and then come and cut in. Some people go inside on entry and outside on exit. I don't think either is particularly faster than the other or more consistent. It's just whatever you prefer. As Ente Mika looking to get this pass done up towards turn one. I think it's going to be done. DRS open. Tito, I doubt is going to fight this too hard. And the German up to P7. Great recovery so far, but 6 seconds to the next car, which is Tier, who's also made a fantastic start to this race in P6 at the moment.
Ente Mika, who has only got 8% ERS
Okay.
already, which might halter his charge through the field. As he could be a bit slower now without that ERS advantage.
Yeah, certainly might. Rick, if you could send an invite to TG Max, I think he'd really appreciate that. And a little bit deep on exit of that slow left-hander, but he has made the move. Second place for him. Crozer's going to fight it back, but not too hard. And great stuff from Muhiti, who looks like he's running quite a low downforce setup because that closing speed was phenomenal. Looked like he was about 30 miles an hour faster on that straight there.
Yeah, Crozer having the exit speed before the right-hander, the Istanbul look-alike, but to the right instead of the left. Yeah, Pommy Alex, Crozer and Muhiti all in the train, not really able to do anything. But Muhiti with that straight line speed, he's pulled away from Crozer with DRS.
Yeah, he's going to be a very tough cookie to overtake, I think. Get Carter is a 3.4 second lead. A slight mistake there from Pommy Alex as I was riding on board with him. A little bit deep. That will allow JBS Steve, who's trying desperately to stay in DRS range of these guys. It's very tight, but I think he's going to lose it. Pommy Alex with a 3-second time penalty. How costly is that going to be by the end of this race? JBS Steve right behind them as well. He's sitting P3 in the championship. He has been well and truly Mr. Consistent this season in the Mercedes. Just gets on with it. Doesn't really make too many errors and keeps it together. As now Pommy Alex looking to make it a double podium for Ferrari down the inside. They've both got DRS, so there's no speed advantage there as Pommy Alex makes the move. They're still side by side as they continue to go through. Crozer takes the inside line and keeps the place. Great defense from the Red Bull, and Pommy Alex has to fight another day. Lap 8 of 28. We're about to come on to lap 9, and the drama, well, not really drama, but the action keeps coming as now JBS Steve is back in DRS range briefly. I think he's going to lose it again by the DRS detection point, and he has.
You've got, yeah, it's a bit like real life, this this P2 to P5 train. You've got the two Ferraris and Perez or Verstappen, whichever you like, probably Perez because of that defense, and JBS Steve, also known as George Russell.
Yeah, with Lewis Hamilton not racing due to having COVID or something like that. Tier is still sitting in P6. He's staying with these guys. He's doing really well in that Aston Martin. I immediately regret saying that. He's definitely going to spin now. But he is doing well. But Ente is catching them very quickly. His last lap a 38.9. Tier's last lap a 39.9. So that was a second in one lap for the German, and he is. You can hear the Jaws music as the AlphaTauri approaches this pack.
Yeah, Tier, then Sebastian Vettel in P6. Yeah. And Tamika, despite that ERS, he's got good pace, which is surprising to me considering the ERS.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the guys ahead having DRS. They should have a big advantage on the straights, but Ente just blitzing them in the corners clearly as Lalo Mado nearly getting past LB. Those hard tyres starting to maybe come into play, but it's a little bit too late really, because as we've got yellow flags. Who's that? That is Tier. That is Tier. I knew it. I shouldn't have said anything. What have I done? Every single time I need to just completely ignore that Tier exists, and then maybe he won't spin. I do apologise, Tier. Lalo Maddo still on the back of LB with these hard tyres. Tier into the pit, so he's decided it's time for the hards after that spin. I think that is early for sure. His tyres on about 40%, so it is maybe coming into the range as Lalo big lock up into turn 1 for the McLaren. Crozer still right behind Muhiti, and this battle goes on between these three. JB has lost a fair bit of time now to them, but if they start battling again, he'll be straight back in the fight. Ente Miko 4.5 seconds down, and Get Carter's gap has, I don't think it's quite come down, but it certainly hasn't gone up, Rick. His last lap of 39.5, Muhiti's a 39.4, so it is very close now between them, and Get Carter is going to have to watch his back if these three continue catching him.
The gap between the leader and P2 it's stabilizing. It's not really going up. It's not going down. What is going up and down is Croz's delta to Muhiti in the sector splits, because you've got the downforce sector or sector 1, you've got the straight sector, sector 2. There's a big difference for setups between these two drivers, and there's a big difference for setups between the two sectors.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Lalo tried to make a move on LB, tried to go around the outside of that left-hander after the DRS straight. Couldn't quite manage it, but LB under a huge amount of pressure from this McLaren now. Those mediums starting to fall away, and Lalo starting to feel the advantage on those hard tyres, but he doesn't really have the straight line speed. He's clearly chosen a high downforce setup because he's really struggling to overtake LB despite being right behind him when the DRS zone starts. So he's going to have to pull out some kind of move. He's not going to get it done on the straight, it seems.
Lalo Maddo could overtake LB here in the first sector, which is not very much an overtaking opportunity, especially in the S's, but as we just come out, he hasn't yet. Unless he sends it into this corner, he's not going to get past, I think, because of course, the straight line speed.
Yeah, it's not really able to overtake in sector 1 unless there's a big mistake from the car in front. So Lalo with DRS again, he just has no closing speed on this Red Bull, can't make the move, and this is allowing Mr. J-Man to catch back up. He's trying to recover after his drive-through earlier on. He's sitting P10 at the moment, but right behind these two, and if anything happens between them, he is ready to pounce in that Williams. Sela KRT is trying to stay with them as well. Muhiti becomes the first front runner to head into the pits. So an early stop for the Turkish driver onto the hards, I presume. Yep, those are the white-walled tyres. And out he comes. Is he going to be in traffic? He is indeed. He's going to be behind this huge train behind Tito Man. How much time is that going to cost him? Look at this. He comes out right behind them. Is he going to come out in front of Sela KRT as well? No, behind. So Muhiti is going to lose a huge amount of time, I think, here. And right over the sausage curbs as he goes wide with those cold tyres at turn 1. As Lawrence also on a recovery drive further back as well. But he's going to have to pit soon. And a miserable day so far for Lawrence, unfortunately.
Muhiti on those new hards will of course have will not have the temperature in them, so it will be a bit slower than the pack ahead, which could give him some extra time to maybe just...
Oh, sorry to interrupt, Mr. J-Man. I don't know how he managed to save that. He just disappeared off the screen at the exit of that left-hander. Somehow managed to save the car before he hit the wall, but he's lost about a second to the two in front of him. But Lalo goes very deep there, and that's going to cost him quite a lot of time, and Mr. J-Man will be right back up in DRS range straight away. Muhiti is now starting to catch them again. He's gotten those tyres just about warmed up enough as Get Carter comes into the pits, as does Crozer. Pommy Alex stays out in the Ferrari. He's going to go for another lap. JB in, Ente Mika in. 3 seconds was the gap as he entered the pits, so he is well and truly looking to get himself back in this race. Tito Man stays out as well. LB stays out. Lalo, of course. Mr. J-Man comes in. Cello comes in. Muhiti, of course, stays out. And where's he going to come out in relation to... it's going to be... who's the point of reference? Get Carter, maybe LB. Here he comes, round turn 1. He's just in front of JB. He's lost a huge amount of time, but obviously JB is going to lose quite a bit getting those tyres warmed up. But Crozer is 3.7 seconds in front. It was a terrible outlap from Muhiti, and he's paid the price, and that is Lil Manny Man going for a spin at the back, and also Lawrence at the same time at different parts of the track. And Mr. J-Man.
I was going to say, there was a third car there that was standing still. I couldn't quite figure out who, but it was Mr. J-Man. Of course, the colored dots not really helping, as they're basically all the same color, the blue ones.
But yeah, that's Mr. J-Man, Mr. J-Man, Lil Manny Man, and Lawrence all spinning at virtually exactly the same time. And Lawrence's miserable day continues. TG Max has been given a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. That is unfortunate. He's probably going to challenge that in the stewards, I imagine. And I can see why, because Mr. J-Man was just about getting up to speed again and he overtook him. So I can see why he hasn't let him back. Pommy is in. Where's he going to come out? It looks like the overcut has worked big time, so this could be a huge benefit to Pommy. He's into the pits now. Get Carter's coming around the final corner. Who's that? It's Crozer! Crozer's gone! That is a disaster for the Red Bull. It was going so well, and he is down to P8. LB is in as well. Where's Pommy Alex coming out? There is Get Carter. There is Tito Man, but Pommy Alex well in front of his teammate Lalo Mano trying to make his way through, and he does. Lalo is spun. He hasn't quite gotten out of the race, but he's lost his front end plate, and Lalo is definitely going to have to pit this lap now, which is much earlier than he would have planned. Tito Man remains the only driver still out on the mediums, but Lalo Mano is going to be gutted with that one, as Muhiti should get through fairly easily now.
Yeah, Tito Man, the only one who's still on the mediums, as Lawrence has boxed for softs. So gonna go for fastest lap very early, and he will get it because softs, and
yeah, absolutely. TV Maximum with a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Muhiti does indeed get past, as does JBS Steve, who's also running well. The overcut has been the order of the day, it seems, because Pommy Alex has a 2.5-second lead on his teammate. So Muhiti, a huge mistake, trying to go for the undercut. And on this track, it seems the overcut is king, as he's now going to have to try and catch back up. But Pommy Alex, of course, with that 3-second time penalty. So still, Muhiti, as long as he can stay within that range, will get himself in front of his teammate, and in front in the championship standings as well, as Tito finally comes into the pits. He's going to be onto the hard tyres for only 13 laps. Into the pits he comes. Is it hard? It is. So a very late stop from Tito, but we have seen the overcut has worked, so it could be a good decision. Lalo also in, of course, to fix that broken front wing. Onto the mediums he goes to the end. They are going to be shot by the end of this race, as JB right behind Muhiti challenging for P3, as Ente Miko with a 3-second time penalty as well, and Lawrence at the same time.
Interesting. Yeah, the gap from Get Carter to Pommy Alex now has increased by 1.5 seconds from when it was the gap to Muhiti.
Yeah, certainly it certainly has. So Pommy Alex in a good position at the moment, but he's 4.5 seconds down on Get Carter, who is dominating this race at the moment. He's been the only one who's led this race and not made any mistakes. LB, of course, losing the lead and spinning early on. Mr. J-Man getting the drive through, and Get Carter took the lead, hasn't looked back. 4.5 seconds is the gap to Pommy Alex, and he is flying at the moment, looking for second win out of 2 in Tier 2. And really, he has been the man who's made the fewest mistakes. That has been the story of these last 2 races.
Yeah, it's basically summed it up, really. There's a train for P11 between TTV Max and Mr. J-Man and Lalo Mato, who is on the newest tyres, on the best compound, and is trying to get past these guys to make his way back to P10 and continue from there.
Yeah, definitely his target's going to be the top 10. Mr. J-Man right on the back of TTV Max. He's going to have the DRS. Is he going to make this move into turn 1? TTV Max with no ERS left. Mr. J-Man sees that flashing red light. Round the outside he goes. TTV squeezes him wide. Mr. J-Man has to go deep and can't make the move quite yet, but he's going to get the better exit. Is he going to surely not go for a move into Sector 1? He's a bit more sensible there. He knows TTV Max has penalties as well. So he just wants to get this done at the conventional overtaking point, which is the next DRS straight, especially with Lalo Mato breathing right down his neck. That McLaren looking very strong right now on those mediums, as you say, Rick. But Ente Mika set the fastest lap last time out, quickly followed by Lawrence, of course, on the softs. But here comes Mr. J-Man now. Surely this move going to be done very easily. Round he goes, and Lalo Mato could make it a double overtake as well. TTV Max defends to the inside. He's not going to give this up easily, is the youngster. Down the inside he goes, nearly hits Mr. J-Man, does hit Mr. J-Man, but I think it was all okay. Round the outside he tries to hang it, but Lalo Mato with that superior grip, surely going to get the move done. TTV Max goes up the inside again at the next corner. They're still side by side. This is a fantastic battle, but the superior grip. Lalo Mato eventually makes the move, but well defended for a while by the youngster in the Alfa Romeo, who nearly goes for a spin there on the exit of that long right-hander.
I've got a lovely camera shot of the helicopter shot for these two.
Oh yeah.
These three. Could really see the bow. Could really see the bow and the superior grip, most of all.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to see just the massive acceleration that Lalo had out of that corner compared to Max. And he's now going to be challenging Mr. J-Man, who's just spun. It's Lil Manny Man at the back. Every time I see a yellow flag, I think I just have a quick look at the minimap, who has just spun. But it is Lil Manny Man. Tito Man, the latest to get a 3-second time penalty. That's going to drop him 2 places as it stands. Cello KRT is still sitting really well in 10th. He's doing pretty well for himself at the moment. Max with another time penalty further back. I think that's up to 9 seconds now. And he is really not enjoying the circuit of the Americas as Tito Man loses the place to LB. DRS for the Red Bull. He makes that move.
Get Carter!
Get Carter spun! The leader of the race. He was 4.5 seconds in front. Absolutely no challenge to him. And he has spun it at the long right-hander. He's down to P6. And Pommy Alex takes the lead of the race, the championship leader. He's got the 3-second time penalty, but he's 2.5 seconds in front, and he does look just that little bit faster than his teammate. Can he do it? There's 11 laps to go, still a long, long way to go. But Get Carter is going to be furious with himself, and just as I said, he is the man who's made the fewest mistakes. He makes one. He becomes the latest leader of this race to lose it with a self-inflicted error.
Pommy Alex has got 97% compared to his teammates' 25% ERS.
Oh, wow.
So he can go even faster.
And that gap has really gone up. It's now 2.8 seconds. The championship leader looking to stamp his authority. As you say, he's going to miss next week, so he wants to gain as many points as possible. At the moment, he's looking to win the race. But now Ente Mika going for P3 on JBS Steve. Down the straight they go. It's going to be superior speed for the Alpha Tauri. Down the inside he goes. JBE is going to fight it. but not too hard. And Entei back up to P3, but that 3-second time penalty is really going to cost him at the end of this race. As it stands, he would lose 2 positions, but Muhiti has got to watch his back now.
So yeah, of course Entei Mika with that 3-second time penalty will still need to extend by 3 seconds despite overtaking JB.
He certainly will, but he's already doing just that. We've got another yellow flag. Who's that? That's Lalo Mado, who's gone for a spin, and his fight back on the mediums ends abruptly. Down to P14 he goes. Entei now right behind Muhiti, already a 1.1 second gap to JB or so. The Mercedes struggling to stay in touch, and Entei is looking for a podium after his spin earlier on. I think he also spun from the lead, didn't he? I think, or was he P2 at the time? I can't remember. He was definitely high up.
He got a drive-through.
Ah, yes, that's the one. Yeah, he got a drive-through, and then he overtook Mr. J-Man, so he was in the lead for a second. So I think that's now 4, or it's LB, Entei Mika, Get Carter.
Yeah, Get Carter overtook J-Man.
Yeah, and Mr. J-Man, yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. It must have been Get Carter, but here he comes, Entei Mika down the inside of Pommy Alex, makes the move. I think that's 4 leaders of this race who have lost it from a self-inflicted error of some kind. That's Lalamado round again in sector 1. Entei Mika up to P2, and he's going to be looking to extend that gap. Goes very deep there though. Nearly loses it, but keeps it on the track. And Pommy Alex has got to watch his back. 2.6 seconds is the gap. Entei's shown how fast he is today. Don't be surprised to see that gap come straight down. We've still got, it's going to be 9 laps to go at the end of this one. There we go, it ticked over to lap 20. And Entei Mika, 2.7 seconds is the gap to Pommy. I don't think Muhiti is going to be able to fight it, but we will see. I'm sure Muhiti is going to be hoping for P2, but the win is slipping from his grasp. 3.4 seconds is his gap to Pommy Alex. And Pommy only has 3 seconds of penalties, so Muhiti could be losing more points on his teammate and championship rival today. But of course, with Pommy missing next week, Muhiti just going to be hoping to get himself on the podium, be safe, get some good points in, and then take the championship lead next week. It's still a long way to go in this race. And already he's out of the ERS range of that AlphaTauri.
Of course the ERS difference can help Pommy Alex massively, and maybe even help him win this race if he doesn't use it all, trying to stay away from Entei.
Yeah, he's doing well at the moment though. That gap steady at 2.8. Lalo Mado's gone again in sector 1. He's having a torrid time, as well as his no-line compatriot Lawrence, who's just overtaken him. The two drivers in no-line really struggling here. Unsurprisingly, this is an absolutely horrible track with no line. I do feel for them, but I've got to say those two have my utmost respect. And that's Get Carter again at the same corner. The AlphaTauri goes round down to P7 now as Tier is promoted to P6, and Get Carter is going to be thinking, what on earth have I done? How have I not won this race?
Okay, yeah, don't mention Tier for the next 7 laps.
Yeah. So we've got JBS Steve, then Crozer, then Get Carter.
Yeah.
And but talking of Crozer, he's right in the back of JBS Steve, who's struggling now to secure P4. He's going to be comfortably in the top 5 because there's a 12-second gap back to Tier. So he's fairly comfortable where he is, but Crozer looking to take 4th place today, and he's looking good for it. Entei is catching Pommy Alex, 2.3, their last laps. Entei Mika a 38.3, Pommy Alex a 38.5. So there's not much between them, but he is catching slowly but surely as who's that? That's
Lawrence
round. That's
Van.
Lawrence round at turn 1. And yeah, it's the two guys with no line. As I was saying, those two probably have the most respect from me of anyone on this grid for agreeing to go without line, because they're just a bit too fast, basically, for Tier 2 as they are. They agreed to go without line because they can't make Tier 1 on Fridays. And I mean, Lawrence had an amazing start to the season despite that handicap. It's kind of come apart in the latter stages, unfortunately for him. As his championship hopes sort of heading into the deep now, but he's still doing really well this season, and I think I hope that we will see him for more seasons to come. I'm sure he will only improve as without the line as time goes on.
Lawrence though.
Oh, that's JB! JB's out! He's out the race! Is that a safety car? It is a safety car!
Wow.
This race just turned on its head! And JBS Steve, I was riding a ball with Crozer at the time, I saw it happen. He just caught the curb on the inside. He's the first retirement of this race, as Lawrence now gets a drive-through. But JB, he is going to be absolutely gutted because that is the first major mistake he's made all season, and it's going to mean he is going to be well out of this championship race. Lawrence is retired in the pit lane as well. He's had enough. I don't blame him again. It's been a torrid time.
Isn't that on track?
It was definitely in the pit lane because he sped in the pit lane. I think he's hit the wall on the edge of the pit lane.
Ah, okay.
What happened? So either he retired by himself or just came in too hot, but yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, he's I do really feel for him. He had a fantastic start to the season, and it's all kind of come apart. But yeah, as I say, I hope we'll see more of him. Pommy Alex in. It's going to be for soft.
In.
Yeah, it should be everyone in, I think. Yeah. Is anyone going to chance it? I wonder if Tier is going to go for it, or Get Carter maybe. Is it true? Sorry, is Get Carter going to go for it? Tier's in. No, he stays out. Tier has stayed out. Get Carter also stays out on the hard tyres. How many positions are they going to make up? They're coming down the straight now. They're not going to get in front of Pommy Alex. They're in front of Crozer. They're in front of Muhiti. But Tier can't get in front of Entei. So they're 3 and 4. And I fear they're going to get absolutely swallowed up in the last few laps. And this could be fairly chaotic because the speed difference between the softs and those old hards in Sector 1 is going to be absolutely monumental. So this could be carnage in these last few laps. Tito has also chosen to stay out. LB, Selleckert, he has stayed out. TTV Max in to serve his penalty, so he won't be appealing that in the stewards after all. Onto the softs he goes as well. So everyone except Selleckert, Tito Man, Get Carter and Tier pitting for the soft tyres. And Pommy Alex and Entei Mika are going to have a duel for the race win. They've both got 3-second time penalties. They're both on the same tyre. And this is going to get very, very spicy at the end of this race. It's JBS Steve's mistake that's caused this.
Yeah, Pommy Alex will now no longer have that insane lead I had of, well, insane, more like 2 seconds, and now he won't have the ERS advantage either, which will really hurt his chances of the race win.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be really annoyed by this because he was looking done and dusted for this race win. He definitely had the pace to keep Entei Mika at bay, but now it's all straight back into the mix. Lil Manny Man has to catch up to the safety car pack. So as soon as he catches up, I'm sure it will probably be in next lap. But long way for Lil Maniman to go. As Muhiti, what's happened?
Tito.
Tito into the pits. That's why.
in.
Yep. So both of them deciding, right, definitely time for the soft tyres. They're not going to lose too many positions. I think TTV Max might jump both of them though. He's coming around the final corner now. I don't think there's any delta for him because he's catching up. So yeah, TTV Max up to P9, but he does have that huge time penalty for track limits. I think, is he up to 12 seconds now? Yeah, he is. So he's going to drop all the way to the back anyway. But still, he'll be happy to finish top 10 on track if he can do it. So that leaves only Tier and Get Carter on the hard tyres.
Yes. The Ferrari double stack causing Crozer to jump at Muhiti as well. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good spot. Yeah, Muhiti lost the position to Crozer. I thought they were far enough apart for the double stack to not lose him any time, but it absolutely did. He's down to P6 with his championship rival in first place. So Muhiti doesn't want to lose too many points today, but it looks like he is going to lose a few. But I mean, there's still going to be 4 laps to go when the safety car comes in, assuming it comes in this lap. I think it will. Lil Maniman just about to catch up now.
Although, knowing this game, it might not.
Yeah, it may stay out another lap. There's always a chance. Lil Maniman's got to catch up on this straight.
Yeah, it'll stay out. So that means we've got 1 lap of DRS, 3 laps of racing.
This is going to be quite the ending to this American Grand Prix. It's been a fantastic race. There's been no major incidents that I've seen. The racing has all been absolutely amazing, especially at the start of the race. It was incredible, that first lap. Is it going to make a late call to come in? It is!
Oh, wow.
Very late call to come in as Lil Maniman just about catches up. So Pommy Alex is going to lead the pack. We're going to have 4 laps of green flag racing. Here we go. Up to the final corner. He's gone already. Pommy Alex, he's caught Entei sleeping a little bit. And the pack is off. Get Carter right behind Tier, looking to make the overtake into turn 1 already. The 2 drivers on hard tyres going wheel to wheel. And Get Carter down the inside, but Tier with the superior grip, and now Crozer looks to make the move round the outside of the AlphaTauri and the Aston Martin. What a move from Crozer, as that's Tier all the way down. He's gone wide, and he's going to lose a bunch of positions. Get Carter as well, and this carnage is definitely happening. He does have a time penalty. I wonder if he's going to dispute that. It's about 7 wide into this corner. This is incredible racing. Crozer's all the way down to P7 now as he goes very deep. Muhiti down to P8. He's looking to make the move on the Red Bull round the outside. The Alpine. Oh, who's that spun? It's TTV Max that spun further up, and Lil Maniman as well, as they drop to the back. As Mr. J-Man up to 4th, as you say. He does have that time penalty, though, which will cost him. But LB 5th, Get Carter is surviving for now. But for how long is he going to keep these soft runners behind on those hard tyres? I don't know how he's managed to survive this long already, to be honest. Tier's all the way down to P8. He's battling with Tito Man right now. Down the inside he goes. He's up to P8 again as Mr. J-Man and LB swap positions briefly, but Mr. J-Man keeps the place. Brilliant racing here. I don't know quite what happened to Crozer. I just saw that it was about 7 cars, all within about a 5-meter radius. So no wonder someone went off. Entei Mika sets the fastest lap. Who's that? It's LB. No, it's Crozer who's gone round at the final corner. His race has turned to tatters in the last few laps. Down to P11 he goes. He's going to be gutted with that. Tito Man and Tier still side by side into turn 1 they go. Tito Man's going to make that move. Is Tier going to be able to fight it? I don't think so. Yes, he is actually.
Wow.
They're still side by side. Tier on those hard tyres doing great to keep Tito behind. And yeah, no move being made, but he's gone very deep and gives up those 2 places. Across the grass he goes. And Tito finally up to P7. Yellow flags again. I'm not sure who that was.
I think it's for Tier.
But yeah, you're right. Actually, it was for Tier. Mr. J-Man right behind Get Carter. Is this move going to be made into the next corner? No DRS until the final. Is it going to be the final lap or lap 27?
No, 27, I believe.
Okay, so end of this lap, they'll have DRS for 2 laps. So Get Carter got a lot of work to do, but he's the only car in the top 11 without a time penalty, which could pay dividends for Mr. J-Man. Nearly sends it down the inside, didn't really have a choice. He took the normal line and Get Carter went deep, but he couldn't make the move. And Get Carter, I think, could get himself on the podium. LB down the inside of Mr. J-Man, unexpectedly there. And they're still side by side as they go around this long right-hander. LB all the way around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. They're still side by side. Who's going to come out in front? It's LB. Mr. J-Man loses the place down to P5. DRS now enabled, as you said, Rick. As we've got to watch the battle for the lead as well. They're 7 seconds clear of the rest, thanks to Get Carter holding everyone up. LB is going to try and get past now, but as he does, he dives down the inside at turn 1. Great move. Get Carter tries to cut back at the exit and does so. They're still side by side into the S's they go. Get Carter holding onto this podium as there's contact between the two of them. Somehow LB stays on the track. Mr. J-Man up the inside now as they continue to go side by side. Who's that's gone deep? It's LB. Get Carter loses another place maybe to Mr. J-Man. He does. The softs working well, but we've got, oh no, there's contact. Mr. J-Man is round.
Oh no.
Get Carter. I think there was a little bit of contact between them. We've got to cut to the front because Ente Mika up into the lead of the race. Pommy Alex couldn't do anything to the DRS, but he's going to fight him on the final lap. No, he's going to fight him right now. Down the inside he goes. The penultimate lap for the race lead. Pommy Alex. They're still side by side as they go through the final, the start of the final sector. But it's Ente Mika who takes the place for now. But it's going to be a final lap shootout between these two for the race win. Get Carter has lost out big time on those hard tires.
Ente Mika 3 seconds.
Oh wow! So he's up to 6 seconds.
Yep.
Pommy Alex, all he has to do is stay within that AlphaTauri, an anticlimactic ending. But Pommy Alex is going to be delighted with that. He is right behind. Ente Mika sets the fastest lap, but it's not going to matter. Pommy Alex just has to stay within 3 seconds. Great call, Rick. I wouldn't have noticed that. I was too focused on the driving. Muhiti. Right behind LB, he is still looking for a podium after all of this. Get Carter is within 3 seconds, but for how long? I don't think he's going to stay within 3 seconds for another lap. It is the final lap, but I cannot see him getting on the podium or even in the top 4. But all he has to do is keep Tito Man behind, and he will be in a strong P5.
Pommy Alex!
Oh no, so it's back again! Pommy Alex gets another time penalty. And he's out of DRS range. Ente Mika's surely got this. Pommy is going to be devastated. Get Carter now with a 3-second time penalty. So his advantage is gone. He is definitely going to have to keep Tito Man behind, but he's doing a good job of it at the moment. Ente Mika and Pommy Alex, they're still right together. Pommy Alex with a huge speed advantage on the straight, but with no DRS, he couldn't do anything. There's no ERS on that AlphaTauri. You can see the flashing red light. They're going to be fighting all the way to the line, but I don't think Pommy is close enough. He's got 2 low downforces set up to challenge the AlphaTauri in these corners. I think that possibly is the case. Tito is right behind Get Carter as well. We've got to keep an eye on these two. Can Pommy Alex do anything at all in these last 2 corners? I don't think he can. Ente Mika around the final corner. The German driver, redemption for Singapore. He wins the American Grand Prix. Pommy Alex sets the fastest lap just behind, but has to settle for second. LB finishes on the podium and sets the fastest lap as well. Muhiti P4. Get Carter in P5. Mr. J-Man Tito Man with a drag race to the line, which Mr. J-Man wins by half a tenth. TTV Max somehow finishes in 10th, but he's going to drop. Is he going to drop to P11? I don't think so.
No,
he's just about far enough ahead. Lalo P9, Crozer a disappointing P8 in the end. Lil Manny Man comes across in P11. Tier P12 sets the fastest lap at the end. He's going to be delighted with that. Cello KRT, you must have spun it in the last few laps. I didn't notice. I'm sorry, Cello. I was too focused on the front. He finishes in P13. What a race! Oh my goodness gracious me. That was amazing.
Those final laps were some of the best I've seen.
I couldn't agree more. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. That carnage in after the safety car came in sector 1, but no one really. There was some contact, but I don't think anyone was sort of like massively forced off the track or into the wall there. Crozer obviously lost a lot of time, but I think he might have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh my goodness me, I am going to need a rest after that race.
That was certainly entertaining.
Oh, yeah, we saw it, Tito. We saw. It was drag race to the line. Wow, Rick, I don't know what to say. I'll let you run through the order, mate.
So we've got Ente Mika, the race winner, Pommy Alex in second, LB third, Murty fourth, Get Carter fifth, Mr. J-Man sixth, Thedo seventh, Croza eighth, Lalo, despite spinning at the final corner, does finish ninth, TTV Max 10th, Lil Maniman 11th, Tier with the fastest lap finishes P12, Cello KRT 13th, JBS Steve and Loris are only 2 DNFs.
Whew. Wow. Do you have a driver of the day, Rick?
No.
Good
no.
luck.
No, I don't.
Oh man. Well, I think it was Entei with the drive-through, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've got to give it to Entei. Drive-through penalty comes back to, well, he would have been P2, and then used the safety car to his advantage, came back and won the race, deservedly so, but what a drive from Entei and Pommy Alex as well, both of them absolutely brilliant today. Just about making it out the pits ahead of the 2 hard runners, which was crucial for them because it allowed them to extend that gap so they could battle freely. Pommy is going to be gutted with that penalty in the last lap when he didn't need to make it, but I've got to give driver of the day to Entei, I think.
Yeah, that seems fair. Yeah, I'd do the same. Yeah.
Man.
I'm sweaty from just talking.
Yeah, man, I am. Wow, what a race! We've got a lot of support for Ente Miko in the chat, and we had support for Lil Manny Man as well earlier on. But great to see support being shown for Tier 2 drivers. Ente Mika gets his first win in APPF1, well deserved. The 2 Alpha Tauris who've come into APP mid-season, now both of them have won a race, but neither of them have done it sort of convincingly. Get Carter, it's not like they've come in and sort of been too fast for Tier 2 or anything like that. They've been sort of with the pace of everyone else, but they've battled through and found their way onto the top steps of the podium, 1 each now, and I think we're going to see much more of those two in the future. Oof, wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if Get Carter and Ente Mika somehow end up in Tier 1 within the next half a season or the full season.
I mean, I think they're both fine where they are at the moment. It's sort of, they're not like the reason we sort of nerfed Lawrence and Lalo was just because I mean, Lalo, we saw him winning Tier 2 races by sort of 10-15 seconds, just completely unchallenged. And Lawrence, we saw the same from him in pre-season. But I think Entei and Get Carter are sort of, they're definitely on the pace of everyone else. They're just at the top of the bracket. So I think what an amazing tier this is being at the moment. It was a shaky middle part of the season, but ever since Australia, it's been amazing. These last 3 weekends have been, well, not weekends. These last three weeks have been incredible to watch. And long may it continue. 3 rounds to go this season, yeah.
Yeah, just hoping for more next week. That's
absolutely. I'll give you a quick rundown of the standings, Rick. So we've got obviously Ferrari well in front, 78-point lead to Alpine. They are walking away with the constructors, but the drivers' standings: Pommy Alex on 144, Muhiti on 138. So 6 points between the two of them. Muhiti recovering in that final part of the race to P4, and it was a big recovery for him and a critical recovery for him as well, giving him that margin. With Pommy Alex missing next week, Muhiti has a huge opportunity to take the championship lead. Tito Man on 105 in P3. Look at that. He is doing well in that Alpine. Always consistent. That's his key. Not really the fastest at the front, but always finishing well when everyone else makes the errors. JB, his first major error of the season, he's down in 4th on 104 points. And Lawrence still on 98 after his DNF today as well. But his championship really hotting up. 3 races to go, Rick.
Yeah, Montreal, Monza, and Yas Marina.
Yep, it's going to be a brilliant end to the season. Who is your predicted champion of Tier 2, Rick? Who do you think is going to take this championship?
If it wasn't for Pommy Alex missing next race, I would have said him, but now I've got to go with Muhiti.
Muhiti. So Muhiti, the favourite to take the championship this season. Interestingly, he's one of only 2 drivers to race in all 9 rounds this season. Him and Tier are the only 2 to be on the track every week so far this season. Yeah, I mean, everyone else sort of, most people on 8 races or 7 races, so it's not like everyone's been missing races left, right and centre. But amazing race today, and may it continue for the rest of the season. Do you have anything more to add, Rick?
No, I'm speechless after that.
Yeah, me too. I don't think there's much more to say. I hope you enjoyed. If you were watching, we certainly enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week for, is it Canada?
Yes.
It's Canada, Montreal, and that is going to be a real test of Tier 2. Very, very difficult track to be sort of precise and clean as well. So I think we're going to see some fireworks next week, but of course our championship leader won't be there to see it. But anyways, thank you all so very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this race, and we will see you next week for the Canadian Grand Prix in Tier 2. 3 rounds to go in this championship. But for now, I've been Ghost.
I've been Rick.